Hello, boys and girls. Today I would like to read On the Seashore. On the Seashore by Anna Melbourne and Erica Jane Waters. Let's look at the title real quick. This is the title, the name of the book, On the Seashore. Let's look at the word seashore. What letter do you see at the beginning of the word seashore? Right, you see the letter S. What sound does S make? Good, it makes that S sound. Seashore. Now, in the middle of this word, I see another S. And the S has an H beside it. And when S and H are beside one another, they make a new sound. S and H itself, they make a sound of shh. Can you do it with me? Go shh. So when S is beside H, it makes the sound shh. So you'll hear seashore. Seashore. Now S by itself makes the sound S. But when it gets beside H and S and H is together, it says shh. Like shh. That's the sound that it makes. Let's read the book. On the Seashore. On the Seashore. On the seashore. On the seashore. Good. Have you ever been down to the seashore to look for treasures the sea has left behind? Sometimes there are trails of friendly seaweed and lots of dainty seashells scattered across the beach. And sometimes, hidden among the rocks, there's a pool of shimmering water. Shimmering water. What does the word shimmering mean? Shimmering. Shimmering means sparkly, glittery, shining, shimmery water. So the water is sparkling, is shining. Okay? Let's look at the word shimmering. Shimmering. I hear the sh at the beginning of the word shimmering. So when you hear the sh, you know that there's a SH right there. SH. SH makes the sound of sh, sh, shimmering water. Very good. Nothing in the rock pool seems to move at first, but if you watch very closely, you might see two shiny eyes peering out of a small grubbing shell. Look at that. What do you think that is? What kind of sea animal you think that is? Let's find out. If you said crab, I think so. I think it is a crab, like maybe a hermit crab. Okay, let's look at the words real quick. Two shiny eyes peering. Say the word shining. Do you hear the sh at the beginning of the word shining? I do. You know that you'll see the S and the H, because SH together makes the sh sound. Also, it says out of a small grubbing shell. I hear the sh and that word shell also. And if you look closely, you'll see the S and H. They're together, so they make the sound of shh. All right, let's see. We're looking at the eyes. It's a little hermit crab. It's a little hermit crab. He's very, very shy. He spots a juicy mussel and reaches out of his big, bumpy claw. He pulls the mussel out of its shell. He's pulling it. and gobbles it up in one big gulp. He's saying. The shell. He pulls the mussel out of his shell. You hear the sh sound again in the word shell at the beginning? I do. They got the SH, the sh sound. Very good. The hermit crab shares the rock pool with a spotty fish and 3 orange, what are these things? Anybody know the name of these sea animals? 3 orange, good, starfish. 3 orange starfish. And a pretty anemone. The anemone is sitting on a twirly shell. There he is right here, he's pink. And he's sitting right there. Let's go back and look at a few words. It says, the hermit crab shares the rock pool. Share. Do you hear that sh sound? Very good. You do at the beginning of the word share. And there's the SH with a spotted fish. If you look at the word spotted, you'll see the letter S. But you don't see an H beside. The S is by itself. So S by itself says, so a spotty fish. There are 3 orange starfish and a pretty anemone. The anemone is sitting on a twirly shell. Okay, let's keep going. Let's see what else we see in this little rock tide pool. The twirly shell is bigger than the hermit crab shell. He feels inside it with his claw. Now he's looking inside the shell. I wonder what he's looking for. You think he's looking for something? Well, he says he's looking inside and then he says, there's no one living there. So he heaves himself out of his own shell. That means he's lifting himself out of his own shell to try the new one on. So he's going to try this one on. Without his shell, the hermit crab looks soft and rather bare. So he has no protection. He's nice and soft and he's rather bare. Suddenly, a seagull swoops out of the sky. It wants to eat him. Quickly, the hermit crab dives into the twirly shell. The seagull taps hungrily on the shell. But it can't reach the hermit crab hiding inside. Now, a seagull is a bird that lives near or in the ocean. That's a bird that lives near the ocean. Let's look at the word seagull. What beginning sound do you hear when you say the word seagull? Could you hear the S sound? So that's not S and H. That's just the S. That's the letter S. Very good. So it flies away to find its dinner somewhere else. The little hermit crab is safe. He drags his big new shell across the sand. With the pretty anemone sitting on top, he's hard to spot at the bottom of the pool. There he is. Soon, the gentle lapping waves start creeping up the seashore. They wash away the footprints and swallow up the sand. They cover the rocks and the rock pool disappears. Under the waves, the spotty fish and 2 tiny shrimp are free to swim away. And the hermit crab climbers over the rocks and sets off to explore the deep blue sea. Let's look back over here. Let's look at this page. I see an S and H together for the word shrimp. Shrimp. You see it has the SH, and SH together makes the sound shh. There they are. There's a two tiny shrimp. Everybody's going on out into the ocean, and they're going out into the blue, blue sea. Maybe you'll find the hermit crab when the sea slips away again. Or maybe there'll be new treasures waiting to be found. The end. On the seashore.